Okay, it is 10:25:11. The time is 7:08 on Tuesday, and we are currently in Wagner Hall. And I'm going to ask my subject a few structured interview questions. You can look anywhere.
Okay.
Recording is just so that I can listen back and type it up.
Okay.
What was your path to the academy?
What was my what?
Path.
Let's see. I graduated college and I was looking for a job, and my mom saw online that the academy was hiring, and so I filled out an application and mailed it in, and they asked me to come in for an interview, and I got the job. So.
What was your first, let's call it, view of the academy? Like, what was your first impression coming in?
Well, I came in for my interview when there weren't any students here, and so it was very empty, but they made sure to tell me during the interview that it's normally very lively and everything. So, and then when I met the students, it was great. I was really impressed. Glad I took the job.
Yeah. Which aspects of your work at the academy have had the greatest meaning for you?
I like working with the students the best, obviously, and just, connecting with you guys and getting to talk with you, and, like, especially hearing about, like, the cool stuff that you're doing, like history projects and stuff like that, so it's cool.
What do you wish you had known about the academy before you began your work here?
I don't think anything. I kind of found it out as it went along, and it's been good so far.
Like, what would you say is the weirdest thing that you learned?
The weirdest thing that I learned? I don't know if there was a weirdest thing that I learned. This job, obviously, like, new situations come up all the time, and I think they're all in their own way a little bit crazy, but it's good. It's a good job, not a pencil pushing type thing.
Yeah.
So.
What does the social dynamic of the academy workplace compare to that of your previous workplace?
I've had a lot of previous workplaces, but I think the academy is definitely the most interesting and creative one that I've worked at. So, before this, I worked in a movie theater and Steak and Shake. So.
What do you mean by creative?
I think you guys are, like, great as far as coming up with, like, just, it can be, like, the smallest thing, like when somebody comes and asks for their card in Spanish or French or something like that, and then, like, doing, like, bulletin boards and presentations, and just, like, the students, like, taking, like, this really active interest in learning and stuff, so it's been a lot different than where I used to work.
Yeah. How do you think having worked at the academy will affect your future?
I think it's going to make any job that I have from now on seem a little bit boring, unless it's actually just, like, a fascinating parachuting from a plane or something. But, like, compared to the academy, I don't think anything is really going to, like, compare as far as keeping you on your toes.
What would you say is a job you're trying to go for in the future? Like, what's your career choice?
Oh, what I want to do in the future actually is go on to graduate school and then look at working in, like, international relations, like peace building after conflict and stuff. So I think that's what I'm trying to do, and I think especially working at the academy has given me a lot of practice as far as, like,
conflict resolution.
Yeah, and just interesting situations that come up between people. So.
Let's see. How is the academy different from the high school that you were at or other schools that you've attended?
The high school that I went to was pretty boring. It was just a high school. You went during the day and then you came back, and, I mostly didn't have homework because I had a study hall, so I had it all done. But, besides that, obviously the academy is different because you're living here and you're pretty much, like, wrapped up in school most of the time. So it's different than, like, putting your books in your locker and just going home and forgetting about it.
Yeah, it'd be nice. What are some specific characteristics of the students here that were different from your home high school, if you observed any?
I think, like I said before, you guys are a lot more creative and interested in learning than, students at my old school or my high school. Um, so that's really interesting because, like going to high school when I was there was more like you had to do it. Nobody was excited to be there. So,
Yeah. Are there any aspects of the academy you would have liked to see in your high school?
yeah, I would have liked to see like anything from, like the types of classes that you guys get offered, just like different ones. And I mean, just I think you guys have a really like good opportunity as far as taking courses outside of the mainstream curriculum here. So
What's one of the, how do I say this, weirdest or non-conventional things that you've heard the students doing, like in their classes or just in general?
I don't know if what I've heard. I mean, just as far as like the classes that you guys take, I think like what is it, the foundations class?
Mm-hmm.
Like that sounds really interesting. And we definitely didn't have like a course or like the colloque course or anything like that. Even back, in my high school when I went. So
How do you think an academy education would have changed your path in college and the rest of your life had you been to one?
I don't know. I think I probably would have chosen a different college, but I hope I still would have picked like the same major and the same, career path and stuff. But I don't know, international relations kind of stuck with me, so it's so I think what I was gonna choose either way. So
If there had been an academy that you would have known about and would have been able to, would you have applied and would you have gone?
I definitely would have looked into it.
How come?
Just because of how different of an environment it is than, like your typical high school. And I mean, like in a good way, how different it is. So,
Like, in what way specifically?
like your class selection, and I mean, just like the whole idea of, like living in the dorms and at your schools and stuff is so different, especially, when I was 16, I don't think I would have heard of it.
I think this concludes our interview at 7:17 p.m.